Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, where we introduce you to your future favorite artists today. And not only that, we do legacy acts that prolong the foundation of what you understand as hip hop. So being dubbed the 30 for 30 for independent artists, meaning that we give you the real story and the know-how and who to know in hip hop, we celebrate those who not only laid the foundation, but to continue the foundation. Follow us at heritagehiphop.com. Like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell on YouTube, and give a 5-star to wherever you stream this. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor FM, whatever. But today, we have someone who not only takes from the past, enriches the present, and sets grounds for the future. We have someone that not only through paying homage makes hip-hop better, because he gets you to understand the history and the dignity behind real hip-hop. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Oh man, that was incredible. Appreciate you, King. Yo, this is Young Hump, representing that digital underground, money being Young Hump, representing that heritage hip hop, my nigga career. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, am I allowed? If the N-word fly, are we good? Or do I
Yo, you good. Let me tell you something. Digital underground, for me, was one of the most important, dopest groups hip hop ever saw. You see what I'm saying? Like people talk about Wu-Tang, and they need to, because it's very important. But movements that kind of built that came before, and Digital Underground is one of them by far. Let me take a second to give you appreciation.
You know your history, King.
True. Yo, let me tell you something. Let me show my appreciation. Because when we first heard, I'm in New Jersey, when we first heard of Digital Underground, it was like an Oakland movement, from what I believe. And I remember, we are the unknown rappers. We are the unknown rappers with the paper bags on their heads. And everybody's like, ooh, they corny. Then they took the bag off, and then the Humpty dance came on, and everybody was in there doing the, you know what I'm saying? And if you really know the deep story of Digital Underground, we know about the passing of the legend Shock G. And if it wasn't for Shock G, not only would beats have not been made that changed the game, but the alter ego that people use today, like Kool Keith, Wu-Tang Clan, Redman, and some of your favorites, would never have taken place. Since you are cut from that cloth, why don't you tell me what it's like to continue the line of Digital Underground?
Man. Well, it's like one of those things that you would never have ever imagined would be bestowed upon you. Like, you know, growing up, watching videos as a little dude, and just like, yo, that shit is, he's so cool. I love that group, loving the music, the album, and then through the grace of God and destiny and all the other forces that conspire to keep a nigga's nostrils shiny, you know what I mean? Just things happen, and I was, you know, it was Shock G's vision to bring me into it. And, you know, I rocked with Big Brother. Like, I was like, absolutely, let's get it. And so to be a part of something that you said that's such a trend-setting thing, and brothers like yourself and people that are real students of the game and know what it is, understand the overview. A lot of people don't understand. They just might remember, they might not be aware of what and who sprang forth from DU. They might just be aware of, you know, on a surface level. So to be a part of something that I know the history of it, because I was well aware, because I'm a hip hop scholar since being knee high to a duck, my nigga. You feel me? So it's like that part. So, you know, it's truly an honor. It's truly an honor.
Let me tell you about, listen, sex packets. Because we're going to go through some history and catch the world up, all right? Let me go back to my notes, because this is to get ready for this. Not only did I have to listen to the music, I had nostalgia come back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows Do What You Like. That's a classic. And everybody knows the Humpty Dance. That's a classic. But what people don't understand is Digital Underground was the West Coast rehashing of fun hip hop. Because while everybody focused on Kid and Play, we had Do What You Like. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to talk about the Packet Man, because I almost get kicked out of school for that. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about Rhyming on the Funk, where Digital Underground took a lot of the P-Funk and updated it with the chords from the 80s. When you take on that legacy, do you study the beats as well and try to update them to a new style, or are you going to refresh it with total new funk or your own style?
Absolutely. And as a producer too, I definitely study that. And because basically what it is the rhymes most of the time come from the beats. I mean, occasionally you write something and you find some for most of the time, they feed each other, but particularly the beat is the womb and the rhymes are you get what I'm saying. So basically you sort of have to. And so the thing about DU that, made it what it was lyrically and conceptually song-wise is that the beats are coming from a funk feel. And the funk makes you, when you get on a funky track, you're not so inclined to talk about some shit that you would be inclined to talk about on a real depressing, ultra hard, violent sounding beat. So the beats really dictate the concepts and the vibes. So yeah, and that was the thing, because Shock, he's a funketeer. I mean, as much a funketeer as anybody. And actually, DU is really patterned after the world George Clinton created. Whereas you have Parliament, Funkadelic, you have Bootsy Rubber Band, Brides of Funkestein, etc. Digital, you got Digital Underground, Raw Fusion, Gold Money, Tupac, Saphir, and then also even the Loonies sort of came through the digital, as did a lot of other artists that came through a certain way. So, and shouts to each and every one of them,
I'm glad you said that, because Money B, throw your hands in the air. Let me tell you something. We was rocking that over here in Jersey. So don't think, people be like the East don't know about the West or whatever. Nah, if you was in the music, you knew these names.
Absolutely. And the ill fun fact is technically Raw Fusion, Money B, and DJ Fuse, they actually had that group and the name before Digital Underground was founded. So they were together, Money B and DJ Fuse were together, they had Raw Fusion. Shock G conceived Digital Underground, brought them in. When Digital Underground blew, they got the deal and the opportunity to expand like that. Same thing, they brought Tupac in, got the deal, Tupac did his thing, so it was all like, mystic, a lot of people, Gold Money, blah, blah, blah. So yeah.
That's beautiful, because that's the legacy of hip hop as we move forward, because Digital Underground they're like landmark. That's a landmark in hip hop. Like I think Shock G is one of the most underappreciated music minds in hip hop, just like Q-Tip.
Say that again, please.
No, really. Shock G is one of the most underappreciated minds of music within hip hop.
You said it, a true visionary. By
far. I mean, we talked about Sex Package, right? And we could talk about This Is the EP. Everybody knows, same song from the movie, but yet that was the introduction of Tupac to everybody's mind. And even Shock G's work on Tupacalypse Now, that helped propel Tupac to become a star.
Absolutely. He produced the lead single, was in the video. Tupac
Trapped,
was the
yes.
Rebel of the Underground. I mean, that was the first thing. Rebel of what? Of the Underground. Broad, and he's, hey, yo, they can't keep a black man down. All that stuff. Like, I mean,
visionary. And you know what made me impressed with Shock G more than anything? This is what I said when I say he was a very slept on mind when it comes to music in hip hop. He's one of the first producers to really go very big, not broad, but big with chants in the music. Because when you think about music with hip hop early, it was melody. White Lines, do, or MC who rock around. See, right? But they could Sons of the Peak. Relax your mind and let your instincts flow. Relax your mind and let you see. And then that chant, and then he had the tones and the sequences coming with it. Right. That's genius, ladies and gentlemen. That's not bobbing your head all day. That's putting sounds together to catching the right nerve or feeling whenever a new instrument takes presence.
Right. He's a frequency master. He knew, you said it, he knew where to be like, boom, and let me hold it here. Not just boom, boom, but boom, let me hold it there and keep it. I mean, that's a very astute point you made there, sir.
Thank you. Why do you think hip hop misses music, but just loves the beat and the sound of the beat?
That's a great question. Why do I think, you mean the fans in general, or you mean just like, I guess that's what you mean, right? I think initially, okay, you've seen Paid in Full before, I'm sure. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so the scene where the homie Wood, aka Ace Boogie, when he's in the cleaners, whatever, and the man who owns the cleaners comes in and he's got the rap tape playing, and he's like, "Yo, you like this shit?" The old man, "You like this shit?" He's like, "Yeah, man, it's made for my ears." I think initially it was such a, because we got to think the early hip hop at that time, music was so, I mean, there was so much arrangement and so many melodies, and I mean, you know, the 80s it was just so like big and massive, and just so hip hop was like, it was just stripped down to raw things. I mean, okay, not to go all micro into it, but even we say like the Sugar Hill Gang, it's just the bass like boom, 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 boom. Okay, but then after that, it even got, you know, it was really like, and it was like, this is our shit. They over there with Luther Vandross, we over here with, you know, and it was kind of like industrial and mechanic, and it was big, you know, almost like action movie sound effects. And I think a lot of people that were just like, yeah, nigga, this all shit, was fuck with it. So then it was kind of like it was like, to be, I don't want to just say rebellious, but it was just like, just to distinguish. But then also simultaneously, you know, the equipment, the samplers only had, you know, 2 seconds back then. So the people that wanted to take the technique of rapping and apply it to songs over music that was more produced with more depth and musicality, the equipment was limited. So it all kind of worked together. And, you know, it's like different people had different reasons or circumstances that led to that, but it just kind of became its own thing. And when you hear, you know, like, for example, I remember when we heard, the first time you heard the Run DMC Christmas in Hollis, whatever, I always forget the name of that. It's like, it was kind of like a revelation, because all their songs, at least that I was aware of prior to that, were like more stripped down. So all of a sudden, it was like there's all this additional amount of music that normally doesn't characterize a Run DMC song. We all suck MCs. We all like, so all of a sudden I just remember that was like, oh, they adding more music or more melody. So anyways, I think that it was just something to be different. You know what I mean?
This is what I love about these conversations and appreciating hip hop. This is my personal thinking. Tell me what you think. Mm-hmm. Tribe Called Quest is just as important to New York as Digital Underground is important to California. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
And tell me why.
Because, my brother, because They innovated and made indelible contributions that not only can't be removed or can't be forgotten, but they can't be fully grasped. Because it's one thing to be like, Michael Jordan is the man, but you don't really understand, to what degree he's the man. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant didn't even fully understand to what degree Michael Jordan is a man, because it's bigger than the whoever researches it the most and loves it the most, it's still beyond that. And that's the influence of Digital Underground. I mean, to see Viola Davis, the great queen, Viola Davis, tweet, rest in peace to Shock G. Thank you for all the memories of like, it wasn't just like RIP Shock G. She went in like, yo, he, meant a lot to her. And you see her, her excellence on the level she's at. We're all walking around with the things that influence. So whatever we give credit to as an influence is a part of us. So there's so many ways in which, so to compare it to Tribe, similarly, inventive, higher musicality than what was going on around it, brought all kinds of new flavor and individuals to the game, stirred the pot, affected everything around it. Other artists in the game were looking at it like Tribe and Digital, everything I'm saying applies, but we're looking at like, look what they doing. They on some, that's crazy. And it's a different vibe. It's not, it's as essence as it gets. And it's steeped in just the qualities that make it as real in essence as it gets, but it's got some other stuff to it that's progressive. It's influencing other artists, but it's also interacting with other artists and the fans in a way that's different than everything else before. So it's setting a new, both of those groups set and created new templates. And once they got it going, it's like they just really added something to the game that had all infinite positive repercussions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Karev at Heritage Hip Hop talking to Young Hump, continuing the legacy of Digital Underground here on Heritage Hip Hop. I want to tell you this though. I'm gonna be very honest with you. When I saw the name Young Hump, I was like, huh? I was very confused because I was like, all right, wait a minute. That takes a lot of balls for somebody to do this. This is going to be crazy.
I know.
Then when I heard the music, I said, okay, I get it. Because Digital Underground was fun. Digital Underground was eccentric. I mean, they had a blow-up doll in a pool. You know what I'm saying? So Digital Underground was some of the most necessary music at the time, especially when everybody said hip hop was nothing but violence. I love Digital Underground. It's one of my favorite sounds of all time, right? So when I got to hear the music, I said, the legacy of Humpty Hump is big shoes to follow.
Big nose to follow.
Big nose to follow. Remember, no nose jobs. To be no nose jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can vibe. How has the reception of the comeback or the feel of that comeback been for you as you live it, not just do it?
My brother. All right. So, yeah, to answer the question the way I have to first of all to say, yeah, I mean, it's been like a series of tests. After my initiation, it's been like a series of tests, different people in different places, that all rightfully so was looking like, what is this? Huh? Young, what is this? And I mean, even down to each member of the group, the extended fam, just the Digital Underground posse at large. Every individual had their own initial reaction and had to see me in action to see what they thought. And I mean, a classic example is not but 4 or 5 months ago, Money B's brother Cullen, who invented the Humpty dance, by the way, was in the video doing the Humpty dance, and was in the video doing the dance with Money B on stage. They both got the white t-shirts on, they dance and shit. Anyways, long story short, he said to me, because he's the realest nigga alive, he was like, look, I'm gonna tell you, bro, when I first heard about you and saw you, I hated you, bro. I thought it was the stupidest idea. But when I saw you, I was like, this nigga's dope. And then as I kept watching you, I love what you do, and blah, 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 and so forth and so on. But basically, I was trying to impersonate him because he's a very chill guy. So anyways, long story short, I mean, the thing about it is, which I've had people that hate, there are people that pop up online, popping shit. And I always tell them, because, to be honest, respect to everybody, but motherfuckers don't really think. It's like, if you see me on stage with Money B performing these songs, now, while Shock G was alive, it's like, what, do niggas think I'm just running on stage, taking his check? Like, you feel me? It was Shock's idea. That's the thing people, and I understand, because it's hard to, like, we have a lot of things to think about. So to sit there and try to figure it out, I get it. But it was Shock's idea. My thing was, I played him in the movie. In the process of getting to play him in the movie, I prepared a video of myself in action. I caught up with him, showed it to him. He was like, yo, you got this. I was like, word. And so then shortly, like a month later, he hit me up and was like, yo, would you be interested in performing this shit? You should perform it with Money B, because at the time he was focused on doing some piano work and didn't really want to run it and do those gigs. So he mentioned it to Money B. Now what's so funny is he thought it was a joke, because Shock was a wicked prankster. He had a crazy sense of humor. So he was like, oh, word, you got a guy that could do the Humpty with me? Yeah, all right, whatever. So he wasn't pressing him. I didn't meet him for 2 years later. When I met him, he was like, yeah, I heard about you, and looked at me like that. We ended up he ended up giving me a shot. We got together at work, boom, we started doing shows, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so, I mean, starting there to everybody, different people. And I'm proud to say that every member of Digital Underground, with the exception of one or two that's from the posse that I haven't been in their presence yet because they live way out somewhere, but all the core people, every single one of them has stepped to me and be like, yo, you doing that shit, you killing it, you dope, my nigga. At first, I wasn't sure, but you fucking got that shit. So, like, it's a day-by-day process. I mean, there's still, little troll niggas that want to pop up online with words, and I understand, because, they love Shock and they feel like it's something, but what they don't realize is Shock was such a visionary. He was, while he was still here, he was focusing on his piano thing. And his goal he had this goal for 2020. He wanted to do a massive Digital Underground reunion. And he wanted to just be Shock and have me be Young Hump, or be Humpty, do the Humpty dance on stage. You ask any member of Digital Underground, they would tell you. He talked about it to all types of people. Mun, Cletus Mack, various people, Numbskull, blah, 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 blah. So anyways, 2020 came and fucked everything off, so we didn't get to do that. But that was the plan. And so basically, yeah, it was his vision, his suggestion. So initially, and just add this too, initially, he was like, you just go out there as Humpty. And this, I'm gonna show you Shock G's. I always say the G, we all know it's for genius, but it's also for generosity. So initially, it was Money B featuring Humpty Hump. He was doing his acoustic piano thing. He had a trio with him and Fuse and Pee Wee. There was a show situation where we were both, me and Money B, in one gig, and Shock and Fuse and Pee Wee were all gonna be in the Bay within a 30-day time frame. Like legalities, you're not supposed to be in the same. So anyways, basically what happened was he hit me, was like, yo, this is a problem. And I'm just like, damn, it was fun while it lasted. He's gonna lose some money, it's over, it's a wrap. He was like, nah, man, y'all do the gig. I don't need the gig, y'all do the gig. I was like, word? He was like, but look, you gotta create your own name. It can't be featuring Humpty Hump anymore. So I did the Hump. We started in 2015. So we did about 6 months where it's Money B featuring Humpty Hump. And then I had to come with the new name. So I was like, Came a Young Hump, you know what I mean, and been rocking ever since. So that was his idea. So that's another thing too. In all fairness to people that don't know, people that aren't aware, they might think it's some shit that just popped up now on some old opportunistic shit, but it was Shock's idea, for years while he was still here. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what it was. So yeah, but I mean, I've had some wild, Yo, the funniest, I'm gonna make you laugh. Let me add the comedy to it. Yo, we did this one show, and I swear to God, it was in Baton Rouge, and there was this dude in the crowd, this white dude that looked exactly like Bradley Cooper. I mean, like, it was Bradley Cooper. And it was funny because people we was deep up in some Baton Rouge nigga shit, so it wasn't like, but I noticed people looking at him like, damn. But like the kind of dude, if he slid off to some like another crowd with, where his audience is a little more like there, we was up in Young Boosie's, we was up in deep in some thick nigga Louisiana shit. So anyways, I'm looking at him, he looked just like Bradley Cooper. Yo, word is bond. This nigga is, and it's a small crowd. It's maybe like, this is probably the smallest show we ever did. It's probably like, it was underpromoted. There's probably like 45, 50 people in there. And he's standing kind of close. And the whole time he's just staring at me like, and I'm rocking and I'm just looking and he's just looking at me. And I can see as the show progresses, he's getting more like skeptical or whatever. And I start noticing him turning to his friends like, so it was like, so it's like watching this actor out of a movie. It wasn't him, but that's what it felt like hating in the crowd. And I'm just like, it was surreal. And so eventually I had to be like, look, bruh, this is Shock shit. He asked me to do this, fam. Like, what you want me to do, man? I'm doing my job. And it was just hilarious. But yeah, most of the time it's love. I've had a lot of people step up to me like, yo, I know, because here's the thing. Sometimes people step to me and they think I'm Shock, right? Now trip on this. Here's the ill shit. For the first bit of time, I was telling everybody, like, yo, fam, peace, but I'm Young Hump, Shock, But it take like a minute to explain to a motherfucker. And most of the time at these shows, at least half the time, people are drunk. So you trying to tell some drunk motherfucker like, yo, fam, peace, but I'm not Shock G, I'm Young Hump. What? Wait a minute. What? And there's people around, there's action. So upon discussing with my big bro and mentor, Money B, he was like, look, fam, you might want to just let them have the experience, man. So I stole a technique that I watched Billy Idol. When the rebel, yeah. I watched Billy Idol one time. I seen him at an event and I was like, yo, Billy, man, what's up, man? Peace, I fuck with you. He looked at me and went. And I was like, all right. And then like throughout the night, I saw about 3 or 4 people walk up to me. They was like, Billy, man. Because I was just like, yo, peace, my guy, respect. But like the Billy Idol fans were like, Billy, I just, and he was just looking every time, which he does in the video. And I was watching, I was like, this motherfucker's a genius. Because in the video, he does it. So he's simultaneously giving you what you want, which is ingrained in your brain, and he don't have to say shit. He just, it's over. I was like, this motherfucker's a genius. So what I started doing is motherfuckers be like, I've had like some of the gangsters, yo, my nigga, man, yo, I love you, man, forever. And yo, you brought Tupac into the game. I'll be like, yeah, my nigga, yes. And just because, yes, my nigga, yes. And just glide on by because it sometimes it hurt motherfuckers. I've seen people be like, oh, what you mean? Because some people are like, they with it. You have a myriad of responses. So I just be just like, yes, my nigga, all right, baby, I appreciate you, king, yeah. And I slide. And, or if I don't slide, I'll just be like, yo, like there's a lot of people going on, I'll be like, yeah, yo, yeah, you feel, yes, baby, you feel me? Yeah. So anyways, because that's really kind of the energy that people want anyways. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I've had all kinds of experiences.
Salute to you, yo. That was necessary because
Appreciate it.
When you hit people with nostalgia, you're bringing back the pure innocence they had. Like I tell a lot of artists, because I consult artists too. So anybody out there who need help, hit Karev at heritagehiphop.com.
Wise brother. If you pay attention to what he's saying, he's dropping jewels.
Thank you.
I would take this man's consultations.
Thank you. The one thing that think about this. What's the you in the West Coast? Y'all got Disney World or Land? World. Y'all got Disney World.
Disneyland.
Oh, y'all got Disneyland. So check this out.
World in Florida.
Check this out. What's the number one thing Disney sells?
I get where you're going. Nostalgia, right?
That's what you got.
Right.
Because whenever somebody loves something, it's the feeling that brings them back. Have anybody ever noticed that Disney doesn't care if you like Mickey Mouse? They like the memories of Mickey Mouse that you have, because an adult will bring their child to their happiness. So with you being Hump, yes, you're going to have people come up to you because you're bringing people back to their happiness. The world today is so bitter and everybody hates the music that when you get something that's good, innocent, pure, that takes you back to your happy place, it's something that you're going to want to share over and over, bring someone to their happiness.
Right.
And I salute you for that.
Man, I appreciate that. And you know what's real about you saying that? Is I've been blessed, brothers like yourself, and there's certain people that, you know, shout out to MJ, there's a lot of individuals that see the vibration of what I'm doing, and they are extra supportive, because it's like, here's the thing. My brother, Count Bass D, one time, he said to me, you're filling in where you're needed. And it really hit me in time, the depth of what he's saying, not because initially he said it, I'm just thinking in the DU configuration. But even beyond that, it's like, I mean, there's a video of Tupac talking about the world needed more, needed a resurgence of DU. This is like in 96, like that fun energy and that vibe. So many people are concerned with being threatening and being, they threatening their listeners, they threatening their ops, they're threatening and they're belittling their listeners and belittling their ops. It's like, my nigga, I'm trying to tell motherfuckers that let's get it, like, and not in a, and I'm not on some, like, you have people that do the more like financial empowerment, social conscious rap, which those things can be found in my music, but I'm a party nigga. Young Hump is a party nigga. Young Hump is a cultural, let's spread the culture and the vibe and the essence, hip hop shit, whatever your pockets is talking about, whatever your diet is. I don't give a fuck if you eat chili fries for dinner, or if you broke as fuck, if you, whatever the shit is like, when you rocking with me, we on a good energy level, we having fun, we trying to laugh at shit, we ain't trying to hurt nobody, we ain't trying to tell too many people that they ain't shit, you know what I mean? And so those kind of things, people feel it in their soul. They feel somebody having fun, and also, like like I take myself seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously. And so we have fun, we can clown, we could everything isn't about presenting this billionaire private boat gangster killer nigga who's also came up from the bottom and also had, like, everything ain't about that. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't come up from the bottom, so I ain't sitting there bragging about how I came from nothing. You know what I mean? Peace to everybody that did. I'm just saying, like, there's like this story that everybody's trying to push because they think it's the only thing that people is going to respect. And really they wrong, because really what people respect is they respect quality, intention, energy, and just how you get it with motherfuckers. Like, if you cool, at the end of the day, niggas ain't really worried so much about what you doing. They worried about, and so a lot of people, they rock with me because they like, yo, I like what this nigga's about, and I like that he's bringing that vibration, because also too, to keep it like real, a lot of the brothers that birthed that, you know, they in a different phase of their life. And I mean, like case in point with Shock, you know, at a certain point, Shock, you know, he wanted to play piano and be on his, he didn't really want to throw the nose on and do all that as much. He'd been doing that for 30 something years. So he was kind of in a different place. And so it's like me, I take it right back to that place. And we all need that. So that's what I'm here for. You feel me? Like, I mean, you know, that's, that's, feel me? That's the latest jacket. Listen, I'm gonna show y'all niggas something. Listen, this is rare. This jacket is stained like a motherfucker, but I wear it because it's big and it's oversized because I'm making a point. You feel me?
Yo, shout out to Young Hump, who's on Heritage Hip Hop Podcast right now, Karev. I want to talk about the fabulous imagination of, because that does carry the legacy of Humpty, because like I said, this is the same person, character, whatever you want to call the genius of it. Fun, bug out, have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you who sleep on the history of how important Digital Underground was, whatever, there was a famous song called We're All in the Same Game. Shock G ripped that shit, where he started breaking down the colors of the flag and then helped you come in it.
We said, get busy, Hump. Don't resurrect the blue and look. Exactly.
Yeah, he ripped it. And then some people lose the fact that hip hop has messages. It's not just all fun. It ain't just all gangster shit. It's also an elevation of principle, mind, and quality. And you have a song on there on The Noses RBG.
Yeah.
Tell me why it was important for you to carry even that legacy of Humpty and DU on, where people just think, okay, today we're just gonna shake our ass and get high. And the quality of music may still be made, but people are looking for it. You make sure you present it on your platform as well.
You feel me? See, my brother, yes. See, I got the African hat on right now. And I got my African medallions. I'm surprised. Like I was running a little late, so I threw it on kind of quick, but I normally have my African medallions on, always on stage. I put, every show I do, I have my medallions on, my African medallions. And I was gonna say, you know, that was always like the illest thing. And never forget, Humpty Hump is from the motherland. I always was just like, he did that. Like he just threw that in on the single. Humpty Hump is from the motherland. And it's like, what's genius about it is, you know, he chose to say that and put it into the consciousness. You know, it was a conscious thing. You know, Shock was a conscious brother. You know, Humpty Hump is conscious. Young Hump is conscious. And when we use the word conscious, not on a surface level, cheap level, I should say, that people throw that word around there and whatever. No, I mean what I mean when I say conscious. Like at the end of that song, I got the audio clip of the great Virgo Capadonna. By the way, Shock G, Virgo. Money Beat, Virgo. Young Hump, Virgo. It goes on. Cletus Mack, Virgo. Capadonna, Virgo. It goes on and on. But Barry White, Virgo. But anyways, Nas, Virgo. Freddie, anyways. So Capadonna, at the end of the song, what inspired that whole thing was he's like, I'm taking it back. He's like, I got the Nefertiti, I got the Africa joint, I'm taking it back to Africa. And then he says, I'm taking it back to the Africa in my mind. And when I heard that, nigga said the Africa in my mind. Like, we need to be able to think like that. You know what I mean? We need to be able to think like that. So Humpty Hump is from the motherland, you know, he did that. He put that into everyone's mind, and because it was in his mind. And so for me, I keep that alive. And you know, the thing about it is like, in my opinion, one of the great distinguishers of artists that are better than artists that are worse is not overdoing certain things. And so some artists, they might have great ideas or a great thing that they incorporate into their music, but they overly incorporate it. Like if I'm just running around and everything is Africa, 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 it would be too much. You know what I mean? This is West LA. You know what I mean? By way of Oakland. Oakland gave me the game like it gave Pac the game. So it's like, but I keeps that there. So that song titled The Nose is RBG. And the funniest thing was, rest in peace to Ruth. You feel me? Like, I remember, because I'm just a thorough kind of brother, so I checked certain things out. So I just wanted to check what came up first when I typed RBG, because that's red, black, and green, as you already know. But for the listeners, that's red, black, and green. And you ain't even gonna find no red, black, and green when you type RBG. You're gonna be dealing with Ruth for fucking pages and pages and pages and pages. But I remember before Ruth was popularized, so to speak. You know what I mean? I remember, Dead Prez and all them, RBG, like, and because they flipped it revolutionary but gangsta at the time. That's what it was. So I just brought, because I have a red, black, and green nose. You feel me? Like, it's not on today because this is how I woke up on that side of the bed. But if I woke up on the other side of the bed today, the nose would be RBG. So when I did that song, I was saluting that. And if you listen to the song, I'm not going in like, let me drop this rap about Africa. Let me do all these, it's there's little couple lines in there that connect to it, but I'm talking about freestyling with Sugar Free, and freestyling with Corrupt, and Sugar Free's over there. Like, I'm talking about some shit, you know what I mean? Because that's the Africa in my mind. You don't have to have kente cloth and an accent, and be, you know what I mean? Like Africa is everything. So anyways, yeah, so thank you for bringing point to that. It's funny, somebody else mentioned that to me. They was like, yo, that's the illest song title on the album, The Nose is RBG. And they thought, the motherfucker thought it was a reference to her. I was like, nah, God, this shit is red, black, and green, baby.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But you know what else showed me your range? Shout out to Pee Wee and Sutter House Swish. Funky Tears on Ice is nice. I can't even front. Tell me what it's like to inspire and bring more with you than just to say, yeah, I'm this, but you're putting your legacy forward as well and bringing others to the team.
Man, it's like mind detect mind and spirit detect spirit. And, most people, no matter what they do, have a desire deeply embedded in their DNA to get with like minds and like spirits. And so me being a recording artist and one who's not on some ultra selfish, narcissistic host shit, I be trying to get with the dope brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Shout out to Butter Go Harder, who was on my mixtape, the Young Hump mixtape, the Thick Shape mixtape, which is not online for particular reasons involving some of the tracks that allegedly I may have chose to rap on, but it's out there. Anybody want to get at me, it's out there. It exists. I was gonna say Butter Go Harder in particular, I've done a lot of work with her. Shout out to all the artists on that. There's 2 other females, 3 or 4 other dudes. Peace to all of them. I can name them all, but buy the mixtape and you'll get the full expose on that. But Butter Go Harder, she one of my favorite MCs, period. Female, just phenomenal. She flamed 90% of niggas like that I think are dope. So anyways, I was gonna say, I rocks with the people that I feel are ill like that. And those brothers, along with, of course, my big brother, partner, mentor, Money B, who is an honor to have him on 2 songs. He's on 4 songs on my mixtape, but he's on 2 on this. And me and Money B have the Money B and Young Hump album, which hopefully will come by spring, maybe summer. We have an NFT song that will be dropping in February, which more information, I'll send that to you and all that, but hopefully the full-length album, which is a monster. And let me add this too, you'll appreciate this. The Money B and Young Hump album is is a different soundscape. It's a little more town slap, music that you would, a little more quote unquote modern, like more like shit you could hear YG rap on or something like that. Fun, like Come Here. Shout outs to the Mechanics. It's more in that lane. And what I like about that is people that ask me is like, look, I love artists that give you multiple like manifestations of what they like. You know what I mean? Like, take me to the break beats and the raw shit with the samples and the loops and the butter piano shit. Take me to the take me there. Like, take me to the trap, So all these different things. The Money Being Young Hump album, because see, that's the beauty. Mun's on 2 songs on the Fabulous Imagination of Young Hump. He's on 4 songs on the mixtape. That's the classic sound that stems from the 90s and still is here now. Whereas the Money Being Young Hump album is, a different, more modern sound. So we as Digital Underground like to, diversify the sound. So some people, they don't really rock with the old stuff like that. And they just want to hear the new stuff. So they might not be checking so much for the stuff. They need 808 on everything. They need, you know what I mean? Other people, they're like, I don't really like the new stuff that much. And so they loving the more classic stuff. The Fabulous Imagination of Young Hump in particular, I tried to well-round it as much as possible, but there's no big, chunky 808 mob music slap like that. It's more, there's no keyboard synth, beats. It's the classic. It's the classic golden era sound. You know what I mean?
But see, that's the thing I give the West Coast credit for, because a lot of people who are against the West Coast said all they had was the whiny horn. And then the South jacked it about it. You know what I'm saying? But if you really listen to hip hop from 2007, I would say, West Coast hip hop beats have been hitting harder than a whole lot of other people's beats. Let me tell you, E40's ear is crazy.
Right.
Let me tell you that I'm not a fan of the move, but I love the music. Snoop's taking control of algorithm on Def Jam. Big Subwoofer is crazy. That beat is like the old school but updated. And then I hear songs like, look, you had Lover Rants, you had YG, you have the man above your left shoulder, Nipsey Hussle, R.I.P. Their beat selection was amazing. And then when I hear you talk about Sugar Free, shout out to Sugar Free, Cocaine, what's good, yo?
Yeah.
But when you went and Corrupt, salute. But when you talk about the song Come Here
and Daz,
oh, that nigga Daz, salute.
Yo, Daz, oh man, I can tell you some Daz shit, man. Yo, salute to Daz. Daz is an integral
beast.
Yeah, well,
he's the beast.
He's the beast. Yes, he is the beast. But I'll say Daz is the owner of some of the most exclusive, important digital underground materials of all time.
Oh yeah?
Daz has some things. Daz is the god. He spoke on it himself. So he spoke on it himself and put it out there. So yeah, Daz owns the 2-inch reel for I Get Around.
Oh wow. Oh, that's like gold, platinum. That's landmark stuff. That should be in the hip hop museum somewhere.
That's you get on a plane, you go to London to go see the Egyptian, the scepter. That's Egyptian shit. This isn't Egyptian, but that's that type of shit. Like,
yeah, that's
Daz
crazy.
owns that. Salute to that nigga Daz, one of the top 5 of all time. I said it.
Yeah, he up there because that, yo. But not to really get a point.
Pardon me.
Even like, that was great. Because even like I said, the new song that you had with Money B, Come Here. I told you, myself, ladies and gentlemen, that will be on the next Heritage Hip Hop playlist. Believe me. Because you need to hear that if you don't got it. Because guess what? I bought my copy. You need to get yours. You know what I'm saying? And there's something I wanted to touch on before we go to the end of the interview is this. It's always great to update, but it's also necessary to not forget the influence. Where do you think hip hop does a good job with the influence and the updating of the influence matching perfectly? Where do you see that where hip hop's doing it the right way, in your opinion?
That's a really good question. I just want to say the first thing that we think of is maybe think of a great drummer named Jerry Brown, who once told me, he said, you got to take it back to the basics and follow through. And so where there's certain artists, you know, for the most part, they're people that have been around for a while, but there are a few artists like, okay, my mind's all over the place. For example, let's just say, let's go back a couple years when Joey Badass and them, you know, Pro Era, when they came out, they had a sound that, you know, brothers that have been in the hip hop thing for a while could be like, okay, these young niggas got that essence shit. You know what I mean? And then they was bringing their new qualities to it. Now, Joey has evolved into other things, but I'm talking about the start. You know, there are a few, you know, artists that, I mean, even Kendrick Lamar having MC8 on his album was big, and here and there choosing production that, you know, rings of older things. But then when you get into like the brothers that are a little bit been around a little longer, you even let's take somebody like Alchemist, who's been around for a while. The beauty of Alchemist is because he's such an important person in hip hop, because he is like, he represents like a place where people from all the, you know, from underground to mainstream to like, I mean, he got pictures of shit when he's standing next to Earl Sweatshirt when he was like 19 in Prodigy, you know what I mean? And Vince Staples. And so a guy like him, whose production, he's updated it, but it stays rooted in a classic hip hop thing. He incorporate people like Griselda. And then Griselda is so Alchemist is a bridge. He is like one of the master bridges in all of hip hop right now. But I mean, he's almost more than, no, he's not the bridge. He's like he's not the bridge. He's like the Times, he's one of the Times Square places that people, different artists come to, that a million bridges go to. So his bridge to, let's say that I'm getting, my Virgo mind is like bridge, city, location, you know, gate, moat. I'm thinking, point that I'm making is the way he connects to like Griselda, and Griselda is Benny, and Benny is Hit Boy, and Hit Boy is, you know, like they're signed to Jay-Z, and there's all these like, so there's certain artists that, I mean, you know, Busta Rhymes having Rick Ross on the joint on ELE2, salute to the big bro Busta Rhymes, you know, bringing, you know, Raekwon, another great example. Raekwon having French Montana or ASAP Rocky on his album, and he's having them on beats that kind of split the difference. You know, it's not the gulliest Ray beat, and it's not overly an attempt to be commercial. So to answer your question, those certain individuals that are mindful because they want to communicate and they want to be in different places, they reach out and they bring people, because even some of these artists just appearing in somebody else's, you know what I mean, song, you know, a brother like Ty Dolla $ign, shout outs to the bro. He like, a lot of people don't know his background because a lot of people just see the big radio songs. But if you listen to some of his albums, he got shit rapping over singing over Patrice Rushen samples. And he's a Dilla head. He sat on Sway in the morning and they asked him who was top 5. And this nigga said Pac. No, he said Pac, Biggie, Doom, J Dilla, and Quasimoto. Like, eat that for every nigga who thinks they know who somebody is. He said his top 5. He didn't say Nas or Jay-Z like everybody else said. He said Pac, Big, Doom, Dilla, and Quasi motherfucking Moto. Like, that's how you do. So, and I get excited when I think about that shit. I get hyped, I should say, because he has this song where you talk about I put on for my city. Like, that's putting on. he's sitting there a lit nigga at that caliber of artist talking about Quasimodo. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where we do well. Where we do well is those of us that are conscious, and the brothers that have the biggest platforms, that they make the effort to include, collaborate with, and mention. Case in point, here's another one. I just peeped this the other day. Big up, big up, big up. See, Young Hump will remember what to mention. My guy, K-Knight, that produced, big up my brother K-Knight, that produced 2 songs on the Young Hump album, The Fabulous Imagination of Young Hump, both featuring Money B. He produced Shit, he produced that, and he produced What I Told Her. That brother does a ton of work with Homeboy Sandman.
Wow.
Doja Cat just did a video talking about how much she loves Homeboy Sandman. And she know what she was talking about, because she was like making this point of something that he does, like one of his little things in his style. I'm like, damn, she really listened to that nigga. Like that. And so Doja Cat, one of the biggest artists in the world, talking about Homeboy Sandman is what we talking about. Mention the brothers in different spaces. It isn't just, because a lot of artists, they don't do it like that. So that's where we do fabulously well. Where we don't do so well is obvious, but even down to more specifics, like there's situations where certain artists could mention people's names and they don't. Sometimes you see them just like, this somebody I work with or something, you know who it is, like say the name, or they don't, they might just mention the features that are currently on fire, and they don't mention the features that are like, you know what I mean, less popping in the mainstream eye. So it's because really a lot of it is keeping the name and the integrity alive, let alone radio play, and making sure that, looking out, looking out for, keeping the thing alive. Because the thing is what the mistake that people make is they think they know what everybody likes. Now look, I'm not stupid. We understand that, there's politics and bags that have a lot to do with what songs get played, and program directing is not exactly like, just standing there playing what you want to play. But there are opportunities to spread love, and even down to, certain DJs that, like, when they do live events and they still just play the hits they play on the radio. It's like, my nigga, you in the function right now. Throw on something different. Now, there are plenty of DJs that do, but there are plenty of DJs that don't, because there's a lot of fear in taking a leap and playing something that isn't already like super, whatever. So anyways, so we have our areas to work on, but there's definitely a lot of people that are doing what they can to, shout outs to Kanye. You know what I mean? And he's in a middle space. I mean, he's in his own space, but he incorporates the newest of the new, the classic of the classic, and his production, can vary. At any minute, he can decide he wants to do some, So there's a lot of artists that are doing what they can to contribute to the spreading the classic. Because at the end of the day, this is the thing. And we ain't, not to go on and on about it, but I just say this. Because hip hop is, the thing about hip hop is they say it's youth driven, but then motherfuckers put extras on and act like it's just young people's music. That's not true. When it first came out, from the rip, there were older people that were involved. But it's like, just because it's a bunch of little youngsters doing a particular dance doesn't mean it ain't motherfuckers in their 50s and 60s fucking with hip hop, let alone the motherfuckers in their late 30s and 40s really are the ones that rule hip hop. So that being said, sometimes people feel like people are only young people are listening to the most catchy for young, shit. And that might be 60%, but shit, 40% is kind of nice. You feel me? If you had $600,000 and I had $400,000, nigga, I'm still living really well. You feel me? So people need to stop. You feel me? So people need to stop perpetuating these untruths like it's only little niggas with dance songs or, turn up, gang shit. You know what I mean? It ain't just that. it's grown motherfuckers making shit that's affecting shit. And you look at the charts when these albums come out, they land boom. And a lot of the biggest artists that some of the guys that I just named got the guys that I just the people that I just named are in their 40s or whatever. So in late 30s and whatever. So it isn't just that. So a lot of people, they perpetuate these untruths for various reasons. Sometimes ignorance, sometimes they're trying to lean it towards something. But you know, we definitely, this motherfuckers out here doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Salute to that. So everybody out there, we hope that you enjoyed the interview. We got stories, we got real life, like we got a lot. Look, let me tell y'all something. A good interview is not questions, it's conversation. And we had a great conversation with one of the founders of the new DU movement right now. So please give them your social media so they can follow you and also get your music.
Yes, sir, my brother. Appreciate you, Karev. Shout out to Heritage Hip Hop. Y'all doing a serious service for the furtherance of this thing we all love and all need. I was gonna say, this is Young Hump, you feel me? Up out of that DU, money being Young Hump in this fire. And on Instagram, on everything, look, I know how to spell. So it's Young, Y-O-U-N-G. A lot of people don't know how to spell, but I know how to spell. So it's Y-O, no shots, but I'm just saying. Like Y-O-U-N-G, Young Hump, D-U. All you gotta remember is D-U, Digital Underground. So Young Hump, D-U, that's my Instagram. You're gonna find me there on Twitter. You're gonna find me wherever I'm to be found up under that. And the album, The Fabulous Imagination of Young Hump, it's out there everywhere, streaming everywhere. You can cop it, you can stream it, you could do whatever you gotta do. Just tap in and see what it sounds like when a brother has fun and knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? It's hypersexualized action music. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something to listen to if you think about those kind of things. And we ain't gonna make fun of you. We ain't gonna tell you that you ain't got enough money, you ain't got enough killers on the payroll to hang with us. You know what I mean? We keeping it on the level y'all can rock with. And that's where we at with it for the 2022. Yes.
Hey, everybody, look. Heritage Hip Hop does not believe in streaming because we don't believe in slavery or middlemen. So if you like Young Hump and you want this music, we ask that you go purchase it because I want that mixtape. So I'm telling you right now, I want that mixtape.
Oh, so, I got you on the strength, God. And I will say, yes, the views of Young Hump are not expressly regarding streaming. Yeah, fuck that.
No, they're mine. No, they're mine. Because I believe that hip hop is an art, and we're cheapening it. And I'm not against streaming. I'm against artists not being paid just due. That's all I'm saying.
I respect it. Hey, yo, look, I would love it if every one of the listeners would go out there and put some money in the brother's pocket, because best believe Young Hump has yet to see that super check. You know, we out here struggling and shit. You know what I mean? Could use that support, man. Use that support. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I bought mine. You got to go get yours.
Oh, and also big up to Money B. He's Money B69, Instagram, everything. And yo, here's the science. Let me drop this jewel on y'all. Y'all gonna go crazy. On HBO right now, every 5 minutes, there's a documentary called The Super Bob Einstein Movie. It's about Super Dave. Remember the OG Super Dave? And basically his name was Bob Einstein. So they called it the Super Bob Einstein movie. It's a movie about Super Dave, his life, and everything. Money B is the only hip hop artist interviewed in it. And yo, he's in that thing for like a minute and 15 seconds straight. It is essential viewing. He breaks it. He represents for the culture. He talks about all the different rappers that mention Super Dave and they bars. You know, I mean, cute. Speaking of Tribe, we flipping on niggas like we Super Dave. You know, all type of references. So that shit is incredible. And also coming up very shortly, Money being Young Hump, aka Digital Underground, on Drink Champs. So we out here for the 2022. Yes, sir.
That's gonna be dope, and I want to see that. All right. So with that being said, we finished the first part in the interview. Now it's time to have some fun. You ready to have some fun with me?
Let's get it.
All right, it's time for the rapid fire questions. These questions are designed to show you not only the depth of knowledge of the artist, but how much they know their craft and their art. So here's the first question. What album or song from another artist perfectly describes you?
You know what my first thought was? Does it have to be me right now or me in my highest state?
Whatever you choose.
Big Willie by Large Professor.
Oh. All right, let's get it.
That's me like walking like, it's got that Ahmad Jamal sample, you know what I mean? And it just sounds like, yeah, we just was at it, baby. I'm like, good to meet you. Yeah, Young Hump. All right. That's my
I love it. What's the perfect beat that marries your soul, your spirit, and your creativity?
Like a beat that everybody knows?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Flavor in Your Ear, produced by my guy, Easy Moby.
Okay, that's dope. Humpty Hump was a superhero to us in hip hop because he was a personality that was bigger than life that showed us more. Why is it important for us to have heroes in music, not just people we listen to in music?
Fabulous question. We all need someone to lead the way, to show us by example what we can be at our highest self. And, you know, humans, I mean, it all begins when you're a child. You know, you're looking at the people in the household as how to learn how to walk, how to learn how to talk, how to learn to stand there. As we evolve, we start to, depending on, we look at other people in our society, we look at people on TV, we look at people in the ethers, whatever we hear, our deities, religious prophets, everything is to show us how to be, how we can exist in an ideal state. So music being so important to us, it's music is truly magic, and it's truly a communication device that has no equal. And so we needed to present us with heroes that show us what we can be. And I would just add this to that too. One of the most important things about this is to understand what to take and what to leave. Because in music, particularly in hip hop music, you know, some of the artists that are heroes to us, they might tell you about some shit that they did that was scandalous that you're supposed to leave over there. But you're supposed to look at and take what is the good qualities from it. You acknowledge the whole thing, and you understand that people aren't perfect. And if you can think about it, it's actually a blessing to see these people's imperfections, because you can see that, like, this person who's a hero to me isn't perfect, so I'm not perfect, so I can strive to be great. But we're supposed to not. I think a lot of things people have today, a lot of the people, they idealize people so much that they just take everything they say as that's what it is. It's like, nah, it's some niggas that did some fucked up shit to get their money, and now they waving their fortunes in front of you. It's like, you're supposed to admire the grind, but don't admire all the dirt that was done. You can admire the bravery, you could admire the boldness and the fearlessness and all that, and the courage, but don't admire the evil deeds that were done. You know, so it's important to have heroes so we can see what we're supposed to do, but to be fair in how we look at our heroes and not idealize them.
Facts, I love that. I want to give Money B his crown with this question, because Money B is one of the most underappreciated MCs in hip hop to me, because he's one of those names that you hear and people are like, who is that? But then when you hear him, you be like, yo, he was nice. I want to give Money B the shout out that he needs to get from Throw Your Hands in the Air, Raw Fusion, Kiss You Back. Let's see, same song. Let's go to his feature with Tupac with Above the Law. Yeah. Money B showed range to show you that not only was he skillful, he was technical, and he knew where to place his voice at a given time. If you wanted to follow that line, who are 3 artists you would like to work with that would show people not only you're dope, but you got range in your dopeness as well?
To show them that I have range because I could work with them. Busta Rhymes. Ty Dolla $ign. Devin the Dude.
That's one of the greatest artists of all time. Shout out to Devin the Dude. Still want him on Heritage Hip Hop. But you know what?
Legend.
I would love to hear you with Tyler, the Creator, though. I would.
You know what's funny? I'm actually friendly with him on a pretty surface level. You know, he be around the area, I be around, so I see him every so often, and we chop it up and pass, and nothing deeper than like that. But we have little, like niggas you just know, like, just basic conversations about maybe something going on. We ain't really like built like that, but he's good. He's a good brother, man. I rocks with him. Definitely fuck with his music, and I would love to. I'd love to.
The dynamic of your voices and the beats y'all both pick would be incredible. Cause like hearing something updated, like Kamir with you and him, and y'all got different pitches in y'all voice range. That would be kind of that would be tough.
You're right. I didn't even think about that because we both had that warm shit and that. Yeah, that's crazy. You're right. That's ill. That's ill.
Salute to y'all too, because I listen to y'all music. Like I said, people, he'll let you know. You come on Heritage Hip Hop, no fluff questions. I gotta listen.
Real quick, I just want to know what's your favorite, like Tyler song, like what's your go-to song from him? I'm just curious. And you ain't gotta live with this forever, but just something like I want to listen to him now later just to get what you said. Like refresh it as opposed to, because I fuck with his music, but I don't know it as well as I know certain other artists. So like, what's a song that I should listen to just to go to, just to kind of get a reflection of what you're saying?
I'll give you 3. Let me look through my playlist. I'll give you 3.
Shout out to my nigga Earl Sweatshirt.
Facts. He has a song I like that he did with A$AP Rocky. That was a video.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I
like that.
Okay, I'll go to that.
I like that. I Ain't Got No Time.
Okay.
I like that. That's a good one. And the new album that he has out is damn near a classic to me. I can't even lie. Call Me If You Get Lost.
Yeah.
He rhymed his ass off on that. And Massa is dope, and Mama Talk. I like his range. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
The Goblin joint with the when he ate the roach in the video and all that. That was different.
Yeah. That was a time in LA. I was out here. That was a time. And they had shit on Smash.
And most importantly, when it comes to your sound, I like the fun part, because like even when you have parts in your music where you be like, don't think about it, just listen. You know what I'm saying? I like that because you're setting the stage for the fun part, and I think that's what he does too. So right. I mean, as a fan, this is somebody who likes music. Or no, I'm lying. I love music, but somebody who loves the culture and where we take it. I would love to see that creative genius happen. Because what if that happened and y'all became the next Meth and Red? You never know. You see what I'm saying? So
I fuck with that.
Yeah, I mean, we need fun out here, because the characterization of hip hop right now is unfair. Like I said, misogynist, drugs, and murder. But we have people who talk conscious, who have fun, who just want to see the best out of the best. One of my favorite rappers of all time is Elzhi. Listen to Elmatic if y'all don't have it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, like, that's creativity on a whole nother level that takes the dirt of the inner city, but puts it on the canvas and makes it the story of a lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
Yup.
And I believe you could do that too. That's just my honest opinion.
Appreciate you, King, for real.
No doubt. Like I said, you have to make the music for me to ask you the questions.
Yes,
so let's go to it. We got about 4 more questions. Let me just look into my notes, and I want to get the best out of the best questions for you, because I usually have about like a good 200 questions. I don't ask them all though. The reason why is because I want you to come back.
My brother, yes, sir. And your niggas getting hungry over here. So if I start answering the questions, like, yeah.
Nah, we good. Here we go. Here's the next question. The most important aspect of Digital Underground that hip hop needs to know to keep it vibrant is what?
The most important aspect of Digital Underground that hip hop needs to know to keep it vibrant is you can incorporate, and you should incorporate, as many things and people around you in a zany way to make shit lit. For example, yeah, my nigga, lozenges. You feel me? It's cold. I got lozenges. You pop these off. Whatever's in front of you. You could just, nigga, I got toothpicks over here. You feel me? Yo, what's happening? So let it be written. So let it be done. You could just just add on. Just add on. You know what I mean? And musically with people on stage, we do wild shit. We do shit that no one else does on stage because that's just how we think. We look at things differently. So just add on and incorporate things.
All right, that was number 4, everybody. Here's number 3. Very good question, I think. You tell me what you think. Everybody loves the journey and loves the goal of hip hop, where everybody sees the bright lights, the money, the wealth, women, sex, whatever, right? But a man is measured by his scars, not by the goal he achieved. What's the one scar you got in your career so far that makes you the better artist than somebody who just does shit and focuses on the goal?
Man. My nigga. Okay. As I've already demonstrated, I'm on the long-winded side of things. So I'm not gonna answer this long-winded. Yo, shout out to the great Tupac. And that interview they have where they asking him shit. They ask him what was his best Christmas memory, and he answers for like 19 minutes. That's how we get it. But I'm gonna just say this. And I'm gonna just keep it like this. Before this Young Hump thing came into the world, and it's still picking up. I mean, a nigga don't, what I mean? It ain't like I got all kinds of crazy Spotify numbers currently. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully one day we looking back at this and laughing at this part of the interview. But nigga, I've been doing this shit for so goddamn long. And, I live in LA, and LA is such a competitive city. And so many people, I just say, man, I just feel like I just haven't experienced a whole lot of real support. And the scar that I have is, from the people that just kind of was just like, whatever, when you making great shit. Because I always, even in my earliest shit, even when my shit was kind of janky, it still showed the potential. And, shout out to my brother Smooth B, another one of my mentors. He one time heard something a million years ago and was like, yo, I see the potential. I see your genius. And he said it because it wasn't fully formed yet, but all the makings of what was to come were there. And a lot of people would just overlooked my shit. And that shit just, you walking around with that, putting out projects and no one's giving a fuck. And a year later, you got 400 views on some shit, if that. And that shit be hurting because you put so much, and more importantly, not just because you do it for attention, but because it's great. And so when something isn't fully realized, you feel a certain way. And then, so I got scars like that. Like, I've been doing this shit for so goddamn long, bruh. Like, niggas would never want to see me in that conversation. Like, they would never want, if I go in, I have nigga, my nigga, I used to sit in the goddamn coldest room that Los Angeles had, with a hole in the wall with fucking cold air in the middle of the winter, bringing the coldest air you could conceive, nigga, where you be breathing in mist in the air. And I'm in there working on my shit more than niggas that is in warm, heated studios. So that's my scars. Fuck all that other shit. That's my scars, because that shit, and that's why I do it the way I do it. You know what I mean? Because I earn the right to talk that shit, because motherfucker can't tell me nothing about what it's like. I've seen niggas be just like half-assing with this shit. And hey, look, not everybody is at their main focus. So I'm not saying that if it's not your main focus, you're half-assing. But I've seen people that it's what they do for a living and they're half-assing. and they just get a lot of it. Just things work for them, and they just get the shine off top. And I'm not a hater, you know what I mean? Because a lot of them are dope. Some people don't have to work as hard. Some people just make dope shit at their leisure, and then everything works. So I'm getting along with it. But anyways, that's my score, man. Peace to everybody that feels me, that's been rapping, making beats, writing, acting, working on a nutrition plan, personal trainers, goddamn plumbers, mechanics, barbers, whatever the fuck y'all do. If you've been doing your shit for a long time and felt like niggas was sleeping on you, sometimes hating, but more just sleeping on you, and that shit hurt, yeah, respect due.
When I get to LA, I'm shaking your hand and giving you that love in person because you deserve it. Because one thing, I this is what I believe. I need anybody on Heritage Hip Hop, y'all got love for me. But the thing about it is, because I ain't a dick rider and I don't be slob knobbing niggas, because that's what bullshit niggas out there do. The one thing I believe, anybody that has an art, whether you like it or not, appreciate it. But if you like it, shake that man's hand and show him how you appreciate it. I'm not like, yo, you got a dope song. You like, what song of mine you like? And I go, no, I didn't like it then.
Right.
I told you when you came on here, come here. You know what I'm saying? The nose is RBG. I even like the interludes, and I even spoke an interlude in the interview. So you know it's real, and I want to make sure you feel that in the interview as well.
Oh, absolutely, for real.
Everybody, that was number 3. Here's number 2. Here's my one-off question. How'd you like being on Heritage Hip Hop, or would you tell other artists, LA or whoever, worldwide, to come on the platform?
I love this, and hell yeah, I would. And I'm gonna tell you why specifically. Not only just because you were Essence brother, but here's the thing, right? I'm an intellectual, and you're an intellectual. I really enjoy when I have discussions with people that make very astute points and bring awareness to specific things. A couple things you said to me in this interview were kind of like little revelations to me, like, oh shit. And you know, and you ask questions like, I understand that interviewers, people, you know, I've interviewed people, whenever somebody's interviewing somebody, there's certain questions that everybody sort of has to ask because it's just what it is. But what separates those that really should be doing it versus people that are doing it is people that ask interesting questions, good questions, thoughtful, original questions that haven't been asked before. You've asked me about 5 of them motherfuckers, maybe more, that I've never heard even a question like that before, like specific, you know, what was the one when you said like, anyways, I don't want to, you know, but the point is those kind of questions allow, because, you know, like a lot of artists, take an example would be a really famous lit artist, and they doing their press run, and it'd be like, you know, they do like, you know, you'll see him like somebody you really tapped in with, you'll see him like do multiple, you know, they'll do Breakfast Club, they'll do Ebro, they'll do Sway, they'll do blah, 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 and like, and a few other things. And obviously there's certain questions have to be asked, but when they get asked an interesting question in the middle of their press run, regardless who asked it, they'll be like, ooh, I like that question. Because it's like, finally, you let me be an artist and not be somebody that has to keep repeating the same thing. Because, you know, Jimi Hendrix was tired of performing Purple Haze every time he got on stage. You know what I mean? And you get tired of saying, who's this, who's like, what's, you know, whatever the questions are. So you ask incredible questions, and you a Trill brother. So I recommend to everybody to come on this month and build.
Thank you.
Because I know your questions, not to cut you off, but I know your questions are tailor-made to the individual. The conversation is custom, and that's the thing. You can't ask somebody who's on some pop every bar shit what you asking me, because that's, you know what I mean? Like, so anyways, all right. Yeah.
Female that you talked about on your mixtape, I want to interview her. So please pass.
Let her go harder. Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna send you her info. And she's lit too. She be winning all kinds of awards, like best Southern independent artist, like I think 7 years straight. She's lit. Wow. She's lit. Wow. Yeah.
Well, I want to break her on heritagehiphop.com, like we're gonna break you and your songs. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to the end of the interview. Make sure you check us out on heritagehiphop.com, our digital real estate. We have exclusive playlists, blogs, We have members exclusives, and membership is free. All you got to do is join the website and you get music and more. And we got merch. So if you want to support Heritage Hip Hop and help us grow, buy a shirt. It's getting cold outside. Get a hoodie. I don't know. Make yourself look good. Wear the culture and support the culture as well. Follow us on YouTube for visuals. Shout out to Beyond Mayhem Media, New Jersey for the visuals. And follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, or Anchor.fm. But of course, everything's at heritagehiphop.com. Yes. With that being said, sir, it's an honor and a pleasure to interview you, not because you're continuing a legacy, but because you are a legacy yourself. And thank you for allowing us to be in your story. All right?
My brother, I appreciate you, King, for real.
Heritage Hip Hop is not a bougie platform. So whenever you want to release new music and you want to come back, the microphone is always on. As long as you have a story, we will elect and appreciate if you let us help you tell your story, because the most important story ever written is the one you live. And we want everybody to know your story. All right?
Appreciate you, man. For real, man. Salute to Heritage Hip Hop, man. Doing God's work out here.
That's right. So here's the final question. And this is the most important question of the first interview. This is your question. 500 years from now, when they go to the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and they push a red button on the wall and your hologram comes out and people listen to your music 500 years later, the most important question I'm going to ask you is, what is the legacy you left behind that made the world better because you made music? The pause is excellent.
Young Hump got busy. Young Hump brought styles. Young Hump brought a lot of things together that were floating independently and brought them together and did it with verve and added to the energy of fellowship and unity amongst people that know what time it is, in a way that led to more people learning what time it is and acting like they know. And did it all with his brother, Money B, DU, on behalf of Los Angeles and all the trill motherfuckers like yourself, banging Heritage Hip Hop, wearing African hats, multiple noses, movies, podcasts, books, and tons of avocados and thick motherfuckers, like I said on the album, and stayed hydrated. You feel me? And yeah, man, it spread love the West LA way. You know what I mean? Kept it digital, kept it underground, took it all over the world, you know, all around the world. Same song.
Same song. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening and watching the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Just remember one thing. The Most High never made us to follow blueprints, but he always made us to endure legacies. So when you take the legacy the Most High gives, not only are you fruitful, but you multiply. And by multiply, you're bringing others to the original creation of God's heritage, which is hip hop.
Speak on it, God.
We thank Young Hump for coming on the show, because if not for the continuing the legacy, then we will forget. And hip hop is the only genre of music that's living, because jazz meant sex. Everybody's not having sex, so I'm celibate. Rock and roll means to dance, and R&B is rhythm and blues. Some people have sadness and don't have rhythm, but hip hop is what you live, eat, breathe, sing, think, honor, feel, and most importantly, connects you to the Most High. So make sure you listen to good music, great music, lively music, forever legacy music, and live the Most High's purpose. Because in the fabulous imagination of, you could do what you like. With that being said, this is Karev, a Heritage Hip Hop, with my man Young Hump, the continuation of DU. Shout out to Money B. And we say peace, and we out.
Much love, y'all. Peace.
So let it be written. So let it be done.